Hello and welcome from the Wild Animal Sanctuary. We are coming to you live from the Visitor Center on this chilly November evening. The sun just set and the lions are letting us know they're excited about tonight's celebration commemorating 45 years of freedom here at the sanctuary. My name is Austin and I am the Public Relations Director here at the sanctuary, and I'll be co-hosting tonight along with our exotic animal certified veterinary technician and one of my favorite humans, Kenya. This is our 4th annual live virtual event, and this one is incredibly special. Such an important milestone as we celebrate the work you all have been such a huge part of over the last 45 years. And tonight's your opportunity to help even more. Your donations during the last virtual events have raised over $2 million for the animals. So we're excited about what we're going to do together tonight. Our goal tonight is to raise $500,000. So thank you in advance for being such a part of this monumental effort.
For those of you who are new, or for those of you who would like a refresher on this interactive event, here's how all of this technology works. You'll notice there's a giant scoreboard on the screen right here that will be updated periodically throughout the night as donations come in. There's a donate button on the page you logged into. You can donate at thewildanimalsanctuary.org on your computer or on your mobile device. Just be sure to stay tuned to the live stream as there's a ton of cool stuff we'll be sharing with you throughout the evening. We've got a great team here at Supporter Central that's working to produce this event, standing by to record your donations and acknowledge you for your gifts. Let's check in with them for a moment. Hey guys.
Hi everyone, welcome to Supporter Central. My name's Michelle.
And my name is Monica.
And this is our amazing Supporter Central team.
Woo! We are extremely excited to be here tonight celebrating, like Austin said, 45 years of rescue. 45 years of putting animals first. Thanks to you.
We wouldn't have been able to do 45 years of incredible work without amazing supporters such as yourself.
Yes.
So we'd like to start off by thanking just a few of you for your awesome donations. So we'd like to start out by thanking Susan N, $20,000.
Incredible.
Gretchen King, $25,000. Meredith C, $1,000, and Judy M, $700. Thank you guys so much. This is an incredible start. Woo!
Our current donation right now is over $30,000.
Yes,
that?
That's amazing.
Already.
Our goal tonight is to reach $500,000, and we know with your support that we can definitely do that tonight.
We can do it. I know we can do it.
Yes, every little bit truly helps. You guys are so amazing. We're excited to be here with you.
So excited.
Yes. All right. Well, we'll be with you throughout the night. Back to Austin and Kenya for now.
Wow, thank you so much, guys. That is sensational. Please keep it coming. All right, tonight, as we look back 45 years, we're celebrating the founders of this amazing organization, those who caught sight of the vision of this amazing place and worked to make it a reality, and helping the sanctuary transform to be what it needed to be to help thousands of animals in need, truly creating what is best for each and every animal in our care. Now, let's talk about the word founder. It isn't something we toss around lightly here at the sanctuary. And we're going to be digging in a bit to discover what being a founder really means throughout the evening. In fact, we recently held our very first Founders Weekend at our newest facility, the Wild Horse Refuge, where we opened the doors to those of you, the founders, who helped make this sensational place of freedom happen. For more, we're going to send you out to the refuge to connect with Scott Beckstead, our Chief Equine Programs Director out at the Wild Horse Refuge. Hey, Scott.
Hey, Scott.
Hey, thanks so much, Kenya and Austin. I'm Scott Beckstead. I'm the Chief Equine Programs Director for the Wild Animal Sanctuary. I'm coming to you from the Wild Horse Refuge near Craig, Colorado, and I'm so excited to be part of this event, and hi to everyone who's watching. We've had an incredibly productive year this year. We've got about 200 horses living on 23,000 acres of open range, That's 35 square miles that's made available to these amazing animals. These horses come to us often severely traumatized. They've been rounded up by helicopter. They've been sitting in government corrals for sometimes years. And so there's a process of rehabilitating them, bringing them in, assessing their individual needs, and making sure that they are ready to go back out onto the range and live that wild and free roaming life. So in the past year, we've built a 30,000 square foot barn that allows us to take in horses that may need an extra little TLC. We've got a 180 acre grass field where these animals can go sort of as a transition space to really bulk up and get some really top quality nutrition before they head out onto the open range to roam and live free. Now, as you may know, just last month we had our Founders event where over 1,000 people traveled from as far away as 800 miles to look at the facilities, to explore the refuge on 26 miles of roads, and of course, to see these amazing horses that call the Wild Horse Refuge their home. We are not open to the general public. And so these Founders event, which will start happening every year, are a great opportunity for people to come out, see the facility, explore the land, and of course, spend time with these amazing horses. So I appreciate your support. Please keep it coming. And Kenya and Austin, back to you.
Thank you so much for the update, Scott. Wow, it's just amazing to see how so many people have helped make the Horse Refuge a massive success. Again, it really does take all of us working together to create such a wild and free space for these Mustangs.
So tonight, we're celebrating the amazing history and story of the Wild Animal Sanctuary. This world-changing organization began 45 years ago through the incredible vision of our founder, Pat Craig, who found himself asking one simple question: what is best for the animals? Our video team recently sat down with Pat to capture the story of how this amazing place came to be. So grab a drink, a bowl of popcorn, and definitely a box of tissues, and enjoy the first of 3 segments of this incredible story.
These animals are the most majestic creatures in the world. Where they get out of the transfer cage and they step on grass. They've never stepped on grass in their life. And then all of a sudden they'll start to run. And then, within a few minutes, all of a sudden you see them just kind of like stop for a minute. That's awesome, just to be able to see that moment when they finally get it and that this is mine. I mean, it just blows your mind to think about how can an animal not understand grass? Okay, well, so I was born in Boulder Community Hospital, so I'm a Colorado native and grew up just outside of Boulder, Colorado on a small family farm. My father wanted us to learn good work ethic, so we started working when we were about 9 years old. We had quite a few chickens and cows and horses, and that's where I really ended up learning to, love animals. I felt like I always could connect with them on a level that I was understanding how they saw the world. I never considered myself to be a animal whisperer or some special person that does, anything different, but you could really read the animal. I mean, you could really see the personality and really see that they have their own character and that they're individuals. So I knew right away that I just wanted to work with animals. Back then, you could either work at a zoo or work in a circus or something like that. During the first year of college, one of my friends got a job in a zoo, and he gave me a tour I was able to see all these lions and tigers and other animals that were in these cages in the back that the public doesn't see. You grow up thinking about lions and tigers as, ferocious animals that are going to eat man-eaters and kill you. But to be in their presence, it's so overwhelming to see them close for the first time. You see a full-grown lion in a small cage like that, and you see all those cages in a row. More than anything, it was just the look in their eyes. They have very expressive eyes. Instead of evoking fear, it's almost got that pleading look where it's like, hey, are you going to help me? So I asked him, I said, what are these animals? And he said, well, they're surplus animals. And I said, what do you mean by surplus? These are not old, they're not sick, they're majestic, beautiful creatures, and they're just going to live here the rest of their life. And he said, a lot of times we end up having to euthanize them. Every day I kept thinking about those animals and how unfair it was and how terrible it was that they had to live there. And I thought, well, maybe I can help. Typed up a letter on my grandmother's typewriter and typed up a letter to every zoo in the country and just said, hey, I know you have surplus, but if you're going to euthanize something, let me know. Maybe I can help. I had no idea how many animals were out there. I knew somebody ought to do something about this. In the first month, I ended up with over 300 responses that had list after list of everything from lions and tigers to elephants and chimpanzees and alligators. And I was just blown away with how many animals it was. This is huge, Am I even going to make a difference? I'm 17 at the time, and I built a small compound on the family farm. So I started to drive around the country and pick up these animals from zoos that were having to euthanize them. In the beginning, there was no literature whatsoever about working with them hands-on. The very first cat that came in, she was a jaguar. Right from the very beginning, I realized that these animals are insanely intelligent. Even though she didn't have opposing thumbs, she could watch you open a gate that she'd never been through before, walk over and stand up and mimic it and get it open and come through it. I really say that the first 10 years was this massive amount of schooling for me to learn. The goal was to just always rescue the animals, take care of the animals. I started getting calls from law enforcement that found a tiger in a barn or apartment or a basement. I'm like, really? I'm like, how the hell are these getting outside the zoo? I realized, oh my God, they're dumping them everywhere. The first really big rescue that I ever got called on, there was 13 big cats. It was just me, myself, and I, and I was the first time ever doing something that crazy. Pretty soon I was doing more and more of those and less of the zoos, because these are animals that the sheriff will say, hey, if you're here tomorrow, otherwise I'm shooting it. I don't have a choice. I learned early on, number one thing you do is you go, what's in it for the animals? 9 times out of 10, it's always the right thing to do, even if you didn't want it to be that way. I had to basically drop out of college pretty quickly to start working more so I could earn more money, so I could pay for the gas and the fuel and the caging and the materials and all the things that were important. Everything I earned back then just always went to the animals. By the time I got up to a certain number of animals, I was like, okay, this is it. This is about pretty much max what I can do as one human being. Truthfully, I really didn't think I was going to be able to do it, so I almost was ready to just go, okay, well, that was dumb, I don't even know if I could make a dent, this seems like it's a huge problem. There's way more animals than you're ever going to be able to help. So people started to volunteer. Friends would say, I'll help you build this cage or do this or do that, and that's the beginning of what turned into a volunteer program. And then even then, some people would say, hey, this would cost you a fortune, man. I'll throw in $20 or whatever. And it was definitely something that stopped me in my tracks. You had that human connection, and people were, just as concerned as you were. And you're like, okay, I'm going to do this. I guess my feeling originally was like, look, this is my dumb idea. I don't expect anybody else to support it or work at it or anything, because, I'm just trying to help animals. As the numbers grew, I started thinking, saving one's better than none and two's better than one. I'll just do what I can do, and maybe somebody else will start to do the same thing. I outgrew the family farm within the first probably 4 or 5 years. By the time I got up to a certain number of animals, I was like, okay, this is it. This is about pretty much max what I can do. And I thought, okay, is that it? Do I just level off and just take care of these? Maybe bring a new one in once in a while, or do I keep going? And I definitely felt like, no, these animals, all of them need help. I can't rescue all of them, but definitely me getting out there and doing what I can do, and maybe, like I said, other people would do it too. Over years, our volunteer program kept growing. More and more people wanted to get involved. We definitely had more people donating, and we even started a little newsletter that was rotating animals out and letting them play. And I wanted some place that had larger amounts of land. And so we were like, look, we really need to get land that's our own. So that started the nucleus. Okay, this is it. We're going to build this into a large organization and save more animals.
Welcome back, everyone. We got a lot more of Pat's story to come, so please stay tuned. You know, I was thinking about this. I've worked here for almost 10 years, Kenya, and it never ceases to amaze me just how far we've come since the beginning. Now, Pat, thank you for your vision and wisdom as you saw what this place could be right from the beginning. And speaking of vision, I do want to toss it back to our team at Supporters Central real quick. Want to see how things are going. How you doing, guys?
Hey there, welcome back. Wow, what a story. Thank you, Pat, for letting us be part of this incredible organization. We are all forever grateful. And thank you for believing in our mission and wanting to be here tonight to support the animals that we rescue.
We are already at $93,000. Wow, you guys. That is absolutely incredible.
We want to reach the $100,000 mark in a few minutes, if we can. Can you do it?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we want to thank all of you for making all of this happen. So we want to do a shout out of a few more of our amazing donors.
Correct.
Big thank you to David, Monica, Tim, and Riley, $500. Woo! Donna Cooper, $500.
Woo! Thank you.
Stephen H, $300.
$300. Amazing. Thank you so much.
And Penelope B, $500.
What an incredible night. I'm so excited.
Yes, absolutely. Me too.
Yeah.
And we're definitely, we're here to support the animals, and we are doing it with you guys. Thank you guys so much. All right. And we're going to keep it up and back to Austin and Kenya.
Oh my gosh, guys, thank you so much. Your gifts truly are what sustains this amazing organization. All right, so we're gonna send you down to the South Refuge in Springfield, Colorado for an update on how things are going at our second largest facility. So Taylor, are you there?
Hi everyone from the Wild Animal Refuge. It is so great to be together again with you all this year. It's been an amazing year down here. Just like Scott shared at the Horse Refuge, our facility is focused entirely on the health and well-being of over 450 animals that now call this place home. And so we aren't open to the general public. Because we aren't open to the public, each year we also host hundreds of founders on our large Founders Day weekends. Unfortunately, this past October, heavy rains caused us to cancel Saturday's event because the roads were unpassable. So I wanted to again apologize to those who weren't able to visit on Saturday, but thank you for everyone for your continued support and dedication to this cause. One of the most exciting things to happen this year at the South Refuge was the rescue of 18 grizzly bears from Spartanburg, South Carolina. The facility they came from was a rundown and overgrown, long-closed attraction that had once been open to the public. The owner of the facility had originally opened to breed and sell wild animals as personal pets or to rent them out for Hollywood movies. Our team quickly sedated and loaded each of these precious animals into transport cages. Because of the terrain, much of the rescue was very difficult, and our team actually had to climb down inside one of the rocky bear dens to extract a sedated grizzly bear. The rescuers brought all 18 bears back here to the refuge many, many weeks ago, and they spent over a month receiving medical treatment, specialized food, and acclimating to the refuge, the sights, the sounds, the smells, before the big day when they were released into one of our rugged wild habitats. One of the best parts about my job is witnessing these animals as they take their first steps into these enormous large acreage habitats. It is such a thrill to witness their joy as the doors are opened and they step out to a life that they certainly never could have thought possible. It is one of the biggest blessings of my job to be able to foster these animals when they come in malnourished or in bad shape, and get them healthy and allow them to find their personalities and allow them to go explore the trees and the rocks and climb around and just be bears is absolutely amazing and something that will never get old. But I could talk for hours about that. I'm gonna go ahead and send it back to you, Austin and Kenya. Thank you guys again.
Amazing, Taylor. I can't tell you what it feels like to see those bears discover a freedom unlike anything they've ever known. Really powerful, and it just really brings home why this mission is so vital. We're now going to jump back into the second portion of Pat's story as we continue celebrating 45 years of impact and love.
Lions, tigers, and bears, oh my.
There's a big home going up just outside the town of Hudson.
The center rescues big cats and bears that are kept illegally or are abandoned.
Those new dens, by the way, will be the largest of their kind in North America.
Truly, when the biggest turn towards like becoming the organization we are today was when we moved out to Keenesburg. It was crazy when I came down the road onto this new property. There were no fences or power lines or anything. So here we were in this ocean of wheat that we could start to develop into habitats for the animals. It was like this oasis. You know, the sky was the limit.
The animals will now be able to run, play, and swim, activities they never would be able to do sitting in a cage by the side of the road.
Having that space for them really changed the dynamic of their personality and how much they were really enjoying life. They finally go, oh, this big habitat is now my home and I own it. I can just walk forever. It was great, you know, something that we really wanted to accomplish. From day one, you know, I always flew under the radar. I never wanted that whatever I was doing to be open to the public, that it was what was best for the animals. And people come to a zoo, in their mind, there's going to be a display that's set up to where I'm going to see that animal pretty quickly and pretty easily. People come first. People are the only thing that matters. People, 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 people. And that's what I really find hard about a lot of zoos is they spend 90% of their budget on what makes it look good for people, but that doesn't mean it's always good for the animals. But eventually, you know, we realized when we were out rescuing that the problem just kept getting worse and worse. Education was going to be really important if we really wanted to solve the problem. We said, okay, maybe we could be open to the public, but the only way that it's going to work is we got to find a way to not let people on ground level, because as far as anybody on ground level, that's just too much of a threat to these animals. So we said, okay, we'll build a walkway that's elevated, you know. And when people went on it, they were like, wow, this is amazing. You know, I can walk right over the habitats now and yet still not bother the animals at all. And it was a total win deal. And now today it's world renowned. This is what should have been done at zoos. This is what should have been done all over the world. And we did it because we knew it helped the animals. So here we were landlocked by all the housing around us, and we had to stop and go, well, that's it. That's all we got. It's hard enough to build a compound in a facility for animals, but then have to abandon that and build it again. Those were all very monumental things. Again, here we are. We're going to either stop right here and just stay at this level, or there's other animals that die daily would have been saved if we were able to help them. I've always been able to say, you know what? If you really care, you really want to help more animals, you're going to do this. Really, truly, the idea was if we want to make sure that we're not going to be in the same boat and have to build a third or fourth or fifth facility because we're landlocked again. So we went out looking for a lot of land, like at least 7,000 acres or more, so that over the next 10 or 15 years, we wouldn't just all of a sudden be boxed in again. We were very fortunate to find a place in southeast Colorado that I would have never dreamed of. It's in a very unique space where there's all these amazing buttes and cliffs and canyons and just incredible topography down there. And so that was where most of the new animals were starting to go, but the vast majority definitely go to the refuge. And so at that point, we're at 500 or almost 600 animals. We'd definitely become the largest carnivore sanctuary in the world with both land and animals. If you really care, you really want to help more animals, you're going to continue growing. There's no stopping, you know. So many years have gone by, but about 2 or 3 years ago, we were called when the BLM was going to start rounding up some of Colorado's herds of horses. We're talking well over 1,000 animals total. Just like when anytime we get involved with any kind of rescue, if we're going to do it, we want to make sure we're going to do it the best way possible, and so the animals don't pay the price because we're cutting a corner somewhere. And we said, hey, if we're going to help with horses, we really need to find a ranch that's just nothing but grazing land. And we were able to find a ranch in northwest Colorado, which is ironically 30 miles from where they took the wild horses to begin with. So it's kind of funny that we were right there. So we bought this ranch, and we basically started to take these horses that were rounded up and put them back out there. They got to live in that really lush area, and it has a ton of water, a ton of great grass. And so these animals that were once free, it was kind of almost like moving back home. Letting animals into big natural spaces. For us, we always want to make sure they have acres and acres of natural space, and we always want to make sure that they're going to live with others of their own kind to enjoy having social, interaction. And we have all these main goals and main standards that we won't ever compromise with, and always make sure that whatever we do is 100% going to somehow benefit the animals.
This amazing place of freedom truly has been built around the one single question: what is best for the animals? And nowhere has it been more on display than here at the Wild Animal Sanctuary in Kingsburg. From the thousands of visitors who walk along the elevated walkway to the educational efforts, community events we host, we are striving to bring the animals' story of their journey to freedom with everyone we come in contact with. Each year, we host summer safari dinners here at the sanctuary where donors are given the opportunity to eat a delicious meal surrounded by the gorgeous animals that call this place home. We also are home to the wildest race in the world as thousands of people gather to run a 10K, a 5K, and a fun run through our facility. And this year we've added a spectacular musical experience as a string quartet performed the music of Hans Zimmer, Under the Stars. Even the lions got into the act as they roared their approval from the darkness. It was truly spectacular.
It was awesome. And each of these events are designed to do much more than just provide entertainment to our donors and guests. The reason we create these experiences just all boils down to one thing: getting the word out about the work that is being accomplished by the sanctuary and shining the light on the amazing things that are being created for the animals through our collaboration with you, our supporters. In order for us to accomplish our mission, we have to expand our footprint and engage with more people, and these events are wonderful ways to connect with new donors and stakeholders. So, we hope you'll join us for one of our amazing events. Come walk the mile into the wild walkway, and most importantly, share our mission with your friends and loved ones in doing what's truly best for the animals.
We spent a lot of tonight hearing Pat's pre-recorded story about how the sanctuary came to be. We'll jump back into that in a moment, but we wanted to give him a chance to share some important news tonight about the sanctuary's Texas facility. Pat?
Well, thank you, Kenya. Thanks, Austin. I appreciate you guys. Everything you guys are doing over there is great. And I wanted to talk a little bit about our Texas sanctuary. And many of you supporters know that we took over a small sanctuary in Texas 4 years ago. And we were contacted by a gentleman that had run the organization for about 20 years. And the gentleman was getting older. He was in his 80s and had cancer. And so he had searched the rest of the country looking for a place that would be able to take over the facility. And we were glad that he had contacted us because we felt we could do a really good job of taking over the facility and caring for the animals. And for us, it was a matter of trying to make a decision what was the best choice for the animals, and that's always what we do. They had a couple of bear habitats that were pretty amazing with giant oak trees, and the bears could climb the trees and dig dens and do all that. But unfortunately, some of the cages that they had for the big cats, like the tigers, were more traditional, smaller habitats and not really a lot of space for the animals. And so we knew nobody was suffering and nobody was bad. They all had water features they could play in, and the crew there were really good people that were there taking care of the animals. But it was only 41 acres. It was in an industrial zone. There was nowhere to expand the facility. So really those animals had no choice to get anything bigger, which is more of our standard, as you know. I knew from the very beginning that at some point we'd reach a time where some of the older animals would have passed away, and then we'd be down to just the really younger and more fit animals that would do better by moving up to either the refuge or the sanctuary. So it's come to the time where we're going to close the facility. So a few weeks ago in October, at the very end of the month, we had a huge effort to move most of the animals out of the facility. And so we went down with a crew and we took all those animals out. It was a pretty monumental effort. And now that we're moving the animals to the new facilities, they're all doing really well so far, and we're going to probably have this facility closed by the end of the year. So I just wanted to pass this information on to you and let you know. I know that you really cared about the facility, and the staff there was amazing. But again, our priority is to give the animals the best life possible, and so we really love to see the animals have the kind of space and the freedom that they deserve. It was really nice to see the animals get out into their new habitats and have some space and enjoy the freedom that they have now. I'm going to hand it back to you, Kenya and Austin, but I wanted to tell everybody thank you for your support, and thank for everybody that did support the Texas facility and still wants to continue helping those animals in their new home.
Thank you for the update, Pat, and we really appreciate the heart you have for all of the animals in our care. We know that sometimes means you have to make difficult decisions, but we know every action is guided by that one principle: what is best for the animals. That's what makes the sanctuary so amazing. For over 45 years, our donors have been the lifeblood of that mission, and tonight's event is our largest fundraiser, so we cannot tell you how much we are in gratitude for you and all the gifts you're giving tonight. So let's check in with Supporters Central and that amazing team and see how all those beautiful donations are going. Hey guys.
Guys.
Hey everybody, welcome back.
Welcome back. We are almost into what?
Almost to $200,000,
guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Please remember that every donation, no matter how big or small, is going to make a huge difference and will rescue animals' lives. I mean, we were here getting very emotional because we have favorite animals, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, Michelle can tell us. Which one is your favorite animal?
My favorite animal is Rasul. Rasul was rescued when he was just a few months old. He was they were trying to smuggle him into Mexico. He was picked up and rescued in Laredo. So he's been with us for 19 years now.
Wow.
Just, living his best life, loving to swim, loving to play, being a little bit naughty. So we love him for that, for sure.
That's awesome.
But this is what your donations are going towards, so more animals have opportunities to live out the best lives that they can here at a beautiful sanctuary. So you guys are doing that.
You guys are doing that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Let's keep going. Let's keep moving forward to reach that giant goal. I mean, we're almost $200,000 right now, so
yeah,
we can just not.
We can do it, you guys. We can do this together.
We can do this. I mean, we have some great donations. I mean, we have Skip with a $500 donation.
Yeah, thank you so much, Skip.
We have Christine. I mean, she's making a $300 donation.
That's amazing.
Bill and Sue, I love you guys. $500. Thank you so much. Thank you. And Lee, 500 as well. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Please remember, no matter how big or small your donation is, we need it. We need you. The animals need you. So thank you so much.
Yes, absolutely. We'll check in with you guys here in a bit again. Back to Austin and Kenya.
Thank you so much, everyone. Wow, the kindness and generosity is off the charts tonight. Your gifts mean so much for this place. It's truly a blessing to witness. Now we've seen the first part and we've seen the second part, Kenya. I think it's time for the conclusion to Pat's story celebrating 45 years of love.
Our goal was never to grow to be the largest sanctuary in the world or any of that. It was really, truly, do we want to help more animals? And do we have the responsible ability to do that?
If it weren't for sanctuaries like Pat's, there'd be few alternatives.
It's all sorts of educational opportunities for people to come out with groups like that and learn about what the captive wildlife problems are. And it's a home for animals and not really a zoo for people.
I would be happy rescuing bunnies and turtles as much as lions and tigers. In the beginning, I really approached this whole venture as like, oh, this is my crazy idea to try and help these animals. And now it's grown to this giant, massive organization.
11 lions held at a zoo in Odessa, Ukraine are being cared for at the same animal refuge as cats from that whole Tiger King saga.
There's no way that we could take care of the facility without everybody's help.
This is the largest carnivore sanctuary in the world.
That's going to be the big challenge going forward, is to make sure that there's somebody here. I've been doing it 45 years. I don't plan on going away anytime soon. But obviously someday I won't be here. Of course, having the people like our supporters and other volunteers and other people that have been involved for many years make this organization so it can last for many, many more years, regardless if I'm here or not. Trying to raise the kind of money that we operate on now on a yearly basis is a monumental challenge. Everything we've been able to do for the animals has been through people that really do see animals in a light that we believe is the way they should be seen, as living beings, not only living, but equal to humans. 50% of everything that we do is you and 50% is us, we work together to make this work. These are the people that are actually helping save the lives of these animals. How do you put value on a life? To see them get into a nice, wonderful home and get really good food and good space and all the exercise and the things that they were missing their entire life, and see them blossom from this skinny bag of bones that's been underfed and malnourished and or abused and start to grow muscle and get color in their fur, and everything comes back and their personality changes 100%. That's the part that balances the amount of sacrifice that you do on a personal level to make it all work. It's well worth that and more, to be part of it. You're gonna always make the sacrifice that you have to make for the animals.
Pat, thank you so much for being that first voice for the voiceless. I think I speak for everyone who's ever worked for the sanctuary, volunteered, donated, or shared this mission, that we truly have been honored to stand by your side in this work. Your vision has inspired all of us to be bigger than ourselves and to raise the flag, challenge ourselves, giving of our time, our energy, and our resources to help save the lives of each and every animal.
Each year, the Wild Animals Sanctuary rescues many animals, transforming their lives from captivity to freedom. We travel throughout the U.S., around the globe, to save these precious lives. Yet, every once in a while, we are granted the opportunity to impact the life of an animal through incredibly unique circumstances. I myself and the rest of the medical team had the privilege of helping two of the most intense medical and bizarre cases we'd ever seen. And we fell in love with these two helpless little tiger cubs, Ray and Ella. Here's their story.
I was so scared there in the back of that car. The heat, the confinement, the constant rumble, all of it. Ray and we'd been in the back of this car for who knows how long. driving hundreds of miles across country. Days and days, it seemed. Every once in a while, the two people driving the car would stop for fuel and pour a bit of water over the bars and slats of our cage. Then the couple would roughly close the trunk, pull out on the freeway, and drive. Ray and I were born someplace down in Mexico. I never knew my mother, and I don't remember a lot about being a cub. At first, we were cared for quite a bit. They gave us bottles of milk and would regularly take us out of the small crates we called our home, introducing us to their friends and playing with us. But as time went on, having us as pets became more and more of a hassle. Soon, we spent less time out in the open and more days in our crates. We were in there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We'd get a little food and a little water, but mostly we were alone. Those crates grew smaller and tighter by the day. I don't know what caused it, but one day this couple came in, picked up the crates, and put us in the back of their car and drove away. And so we began the journey. Miles and miles of freeway, day and night, without stopping. Until finally, the car slowed and turned down a long driveway and parked. The couple waited a few moments, and then, after a bit of conversation, the man issued a harsh command. Quickly, they dashed to the back of the car, unloaded Ray and me, dropping our crates on the asphalt. Without another word, quickly drove away down the driveway, off towards the setting sun.
Hello, this is Pat.
Hey Pat, this is the Welcome Center. We've got a couple of tiger cubs up here.
Tiger cubs?
Yeah, out in the parking lot.
That's crazy. What do you mean?
Yeah, there's a couple of tiger cubs in crates up here. I think you need to get up here.
All right, well, I'll come look.
The sanctuary had closed when we were discovered, and there were just a few cars and stragglers left in the parking lot. The couple who had abandoned us clearly had thought through their plan. They'd removed the license plates from their car and had waited for exactly the right moment when visitors would be exiting the sanctuary. They even drove around until they found the perfect parking spot right outside the view of the sanctuary security cameras. After a while, Pat pulled up in his van. I imagine he was pretty surprised by what he saw. Later, he'd said he'd expected to see a couple of infant, fluffy tiger cubs, but Ray and I, well, we were way too big for our carriers. Pat documented our location and took a few pictures of our crates before loading them into his vehicle. A few moments later, we were at the sanctuary's vet clinic, and Pat carefully carried our carriers inside, gently placing us on the floor. He put out food and water for us and then opened our crate's doors so that we could come out and explore our new home. He didn't show any sort of interest in leaving our crates, so he turned out the lights and left us alone, returning to his office to call the authorities to report what had happened. Early the next morning, Pat, along with the sanctuary's veterinarian and a few animal care coordinators, arrived at the clinic. They found Ray and I still cowering in our crates. I growled at them. I was so terrified and so angry. They tried enticing us out of our crates, presenting us with food and water. Eventually, we had to be forced to come out, and that's when they made the horrendous discovery. Ray and I had been trapped in these tiny cages for months, so long that our limbs had atrophied. We couldn't stand. Our bodies, while too big for the crates, were horribly malnourished and emaciated, which contributed to nerve damage. Our muscles were useless. We lay limp and motionless like rag dolls there on the clinic floor, weak, small, and close to death. The sanctuary staff immediately began assessing our overall health. The veterinarian recommended that we immediately should undergo a battery of tests to see what was wrong with us. She wanted to draw blood and do labs, have x-rays taken, bone density tests, and all the rest, trying to find out why we were in such terrible shape. Pat, on the other hand, suggested a radically different approach. He could see how frightened we were, how much neglect and abuse we'd gone through. He could see the pain in our eyes, the fear, the anger, the distrust. Since our birth, we'd been cast aside, forgotten, and treated horribly. We'd been yanked away from our mothers, caged in tiny crates, and dropped in a strange parking lot far away from our home. We were somebody's trash. A bad solution to a bad decision. Pat saw what we really needed, what would really heal us, and honestly, something we'd never really experienced before. It was love. Just love. He said nothing is life-threatening. They're going to heal way quicker with love and attention. And then we can do the tests. He canceled the labs, the x-rays, and all the tests, and instead had one of the animal care staff focus on one thing: loving us, full-time. And so day after day after day, they loved on us. They held us, fed us, played with us, told us they loved us. There wasn't a moment in time where we were alone. Of course, at first I was terrified. When they arrived, I would hiss and spit and growl at them. As time went on, however, my rage began to soften. My fear slowly faded. I began to allow just a little bit of trust. I experienced love. They gave us special names. Ray, well, he was named after the singer Ray Charles. And me, they called Ella, after Ella Fitzgerald, since both were orphans who'd gone on to do great things. It took a long, long time for us to rebuild our strength, to be able to hold our heads up, to lift ourselves up, to stand. And one day, we started painfully, carefully, to walk again. Soon, we were pouncing on our puppy's stuffed toys, eating whole meals and sidling up to the cage bars to be scratched between the ears. We'd found a home, people that loved us, found our place in this world. We did end up doing the tests and x-rays. Turns out that being left in those kennels for days on end without nourishment made our muscles atrophy and turned our bones to jelly. Our bone structure was so weak that the weight of our own bodies caused dozens of tiny fractures. The key to our recovery would be getting lots of calcium and vitamins. Daily play and exercise would help strengthen our skeletal structures. Over time, our bones would begin to heal, our bodies straightening out, becoming stronger. And so, after many months, we made the transition out of the vet clinic to our mid-sized habitat, right there under the walkway. Every day, our beloved friends in Orange take the time to come visit us, loving on us, giving us food and snacks and good old scratches behind the ears. Our bodies still carry the painful echoes of so much abuse and neglect. We're both a lot smaller than we should be, and they say we likely won't grow to be normal-sized. The nerve damage continues to impact our ability to walk smoothly, but we are doing more and more each day. Even though it's a long, slow recovery, here we have all the food we need, a warm place to sleep, and a ton of people that truly love us. The two horrible people that abandoned us here in the parking lot were never arrested, and our birthplace was never found, even though the authorities searched for months. It's still hard for us to trust other people, but the sanctuary caregivers that stayed with us day and night, those are our family, the ones we really trust and love. They saved our lives. To be honest, I'm really grateful that we were brought here and abandoned, left there in the parking lot at the sanctuary. It's kind of a miracle. And honestly, there's no better place on the planet that could give us this kind of care and love. What we truly needed. At first, it felt like nobody wanted us. That we were a huge burden or somebody's problem to be thrown away. But over the months, and through 1,000 actions and gestures and kind words, both Ray and I have learned just how valuable he and I are to all those who come to the sanctuary, to the workers, the community, the people who see us for who we really are. Here, we are special, perfect, whole, loved.
Thank you so much, Ella, for sharing your story. We love you so much, and I'm so proud for how far you've come.
Thank you so much, and the entire team for what you guys do for them. You're miracle workers. So tonight, you've heard a lot about our founder, Pat Craig, about Founders Days and what it means to be a founder. Again, it's not a word we take lightly around here. It means a lot to us. And we want to take the last few moments of this event to dive a little deeper into what it truly means to be a founder here at the Wild Animal Sanctuary.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Until today, the thought of man traveling faster than the speed of sound on land had been confined to the realms of science fiction.
What does it mean to be a pioneer, a groundbreaker, a founder? It takes an uncommon vision, almost the ability to predict the future, to see things as they could be, rather than how they are. The willingness to stick with it, investing early on, knowing that what may seem to others to be crazy just might make a world-changing difference. You see, for so many pioneers, believers, and changemakers, the answer lies in seeing the need and stepping in, filling the space with hope, with faith, with belief in what could be possible. Regardless of the ups and downs, these brave souls stand firm in their conviction because they alone know how important this work is. Because the work is so important. You see, these lives, these precious beings, are free because of these brave pioneers. You have saved these lives. Yes, the founders who have been there since the very beginning, but also those of you who've caught sight of the same vision and joined the cause, giving, investing, contributing to something that brings us all together, yet makes us all resolutely unique. Because a founder doesn't just mean you contribute financially. A believer shares this mission. There's someone who volunteers, who raises awareness. It's resharing posts, writing your legislator, living, breathing, and furthering this mission every day. Living your life in a way that helps the animals live their best lives. And so these, the believers, are the bedrock that this movement is built on, the mortar that holds everything together. Each small gift, each massive sacrifice, all for the animals. Because this is no common cause. This is life-saving work, transforming the reality for hundreds and thousands of lives, creating a place of peace, a home, and most of all, healing. It's not the stuff of a simple Instagram post, not done for glory. It's the gritty, hard work, the reality, the sacrifice, the contributing and then contributing again that makes it all work. Because a founder is someone who steps into a gap others haven't seen, a place of need where others haven't gone. This work is built by you, the founders, a network of people committed to a cause. Because none of this was ever about us. It was always for the animals.
That's all you guys. That's who it's been for 45 years. 45 years of making all of this possible. Blood, sweat, and tears, none of it exists without you. None of it. I mean, sure, we're here. We'll do the work, but we can't do it without you. We'll say it over and over and over again. That's what the Wild Animal Sanctuary is. I think about this a lot, Kenya. It's making the impossible possible. Thank you a million times over. Thank you, thank you. All right, we're gonna go one more time. Speaking of kindness and generosity, we're gonna go back to that Supporter Central and see how we're doing for the night. All right, drum roll. How we doing, guys?
Hey everybody, welcome back! Woo!
Oh my God. Oh my. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Look at that number. Over 300,000.
It's amazing. Thank you guys so much tonight. We're all thrilled to have you here, and so many of you care so much. We've had donors that have stuck with us for over 30 years, and some of you are brand new, but either way, everyone cares about the future of these animals and the sanctuary and all the work that we do. And the dogs and everybody else are so grateful for everything you do, and I'm very grateful for the staff that we have back here is amazing.
Woo!
All the volunteers that join us, we have over 160 volunteers that help out all the time and come here day in and day out, and 100 staff members. We all work so hard. We feed over 100,000 pounds of food a week. So your contributions tonight make a giant difference to us. So thank you so much. We're so excited to have you. We're going to leave this running. Please continue to contribute. If you've been watching the whole night and you haven't had a chance to make a donation, we're going to leave this running so you can still donate for another hour at least. And so please stay tuned and stay with us. And so I want to thank you so much. We've made it a great goal tonight. You know, every bit counts. So
Every
thank
donation.
you to both of my colleagues here. They're so great. Anyway, and so thank you guys so much. We're thrilled to have you. And we're so proud that you wanted to help us help the animals. Say,
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much. This is so
Thank you guys so
exciting.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you for any donation and gifts that you're giving. We're going to keep the live stream going for an hour or so to see how much we can raise.
I think that's all we have tonight. So that's it for us. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, for joining us on 45 years of saving animals. It's historic, and you are part of that history.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Have a great night. We'll talk to you soon. Mwah.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.